Hey there, School Believers. If you're feeling burnt out, stuck, or like your spark is running on empty, you're not alone. But here's the thing, you don't have to stay that way. What if you could wake up with a genuine excitement instead of hitting that snooze button 5 times? What if you could tackle the day with the kind of energy you had when you were younger? My friends Spencer Jones and the team at Chosen 4 are leading something truly powerful called the Energy Sovereignty Bootcamp. This is a short, high-impact experience designed to help you reclaim your energy and finally feel like you again. The real you. The energized, motivated, unstoppable version of yourself that you know is still there. Here's what makes this different. Spencer isn't just talking theory. He's walking you through proven strategies that has helped thousands of people break free from the exhaustion cycle and tap into sustainable, natural energy that doesn't crash at 3 p.m. Spots are limited, and this bootcamp fills up fast. So if you're ready to stop just surviving and start thriving, head to esbootcamp.wearechosen4.com right now and grab your spot. Don't let another day slip by feeling less than yourself. Your energy sovereignty starts now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production and proud member of Pod Nation Media Network. All right, School Believers, let's get across the start line with Brendan Wellington, owner of a marketing agency and hit DJ. Let's go.
Your goal as an entrepreneur should be to figure out as much as you possibly can so you can find out more. And so a lot of that really comes down to is testing and iterating and getting feedback as fast as you can. For example, you could talk to yourself all day long about a particular ad or a particular landing page or a particular offer, but until you talk to lots of people about it, your sample size of feedback of yourself is still just a sample size of one, and it's a biased opinion as well. And so your goal should be to get as much feedback as you possibly can, as fast as you can. And failures are inevitable, so your goal should be to fail faster so you can get more valuable feedback, but make sure that the failures aren't something that will kill you.
Are you ready to unlock your entrepreneur potential? Are you ready to break free from all the barriers holding you back? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, your first step in getting across the start line. Let's get across that start line together, right here, right now, on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. Salutations, School Believers, and we are here again with another amazing entrepreneur. Today we're here with Brandon. Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
Terrific to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Brandon. Thank you for taking your time to be on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. You're really awesome for doing that. Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
So, before we get started here, I have one kind of semi-serious question to ask you. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Are you a School Believer?
I've heard the impersonation, and yeah, I am.
Perfect.
I wouldn't be able to beat it.
I wouldn't expect too many people to do that. I've been practicing for a long time. Thanks for being a School Believer, Brandon. You're awesome. Thank you.
No worries.
So what I'd like to do here at the very front is get an idea of who you are, what your entrepreneur adventure is, and how you got across the start line in your entrepreneur adventure.
Yeah, for sure. I started with a background in nightlife. So I was a DJ, and then the kind of logical progression after you're a DJ in a nightclub is becoming the club promoter. So rather than just being responsible for what song plays next, you're responsible for how many heads walk through the door. And before I was marketing nightclubs and I was just playing in them, I had a mixtape that went viral, and I did 2 tours of Australia and I did a gig in the US. And while I was in the US, my friend and I caught up. We were making music together, and then we were exchanging hard drives of courses that we illegally downloaded off the internet on some black hat forums because we were both broke local DJs. And then I had a 36-hour trip back from Los Angeles all the way to Perth. It's like 3 flights. It's all these layovers and stuff like that. And this was back in 2017, and I don't think there was Wi-Fi on the flights back then. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just binge watch this entire course. And I had Ty Lopez's social media marketing agency, whatever it was, one of the big courses he had back in the heyday of online courses and things like that. And I got back to Perth and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be my entire personality for ages, because I was just so obsessed with marketing. And then I started using some of the strategies and tactics like in nightclubs. And then obviously I branched out to learning from other places and going on YouTube or trying stuff and seeing what would happen. And that was really how I started, was I learnt the skill of Facebook advertising. I got really interested in influence and persuasion. I also got another hard drive that was another course that was on that hard drive was Sam Ovens Consulting Accelerator. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
actually.
so
Yes.
yeah, that one I attribute. I've had a lot of courses and coaches and programs and stuff that I've done over the years, but if I think back to the genesis, the 2017, my infancy years as a business owner and entrepreneur, that was certainly played a massive role. It's funny because his old head of sales, Rhett Coots, from back in that day, is actually a coach of mine now, which was a nice little connection. But I remember watching the 3 hour unit on sales, and I thought I knew how selling worked. And then I watched that unit. I was like, oh my God. I remember where I was. I was sitting at my kitchen table outside there. My girlfriend at the time was, what are you doing? Because you haven't not looked at your laptop for like 3 hours. I just had noise cancelling headphones on. And yeah, that was really how I started. And then I was freelancing and doing Facebook advertising, and I would try lots of different things. My thing, if I was to give advice to someone just starting out, was I don't think you should, I have to be careful how I phrase this. I wouldn't be married to your very first business being, oh, this is the one. It would be very akin to if you were dating and you went, all right, the first girl you met in high school is going to be your wife forever. Okay, sure, maybe. But statistically speaking, you probably got 9 more girlfriends to go. And so I was going through this process of essentially just dating a bunch of different business ideas. Okay, well, that was interesting here. I didn't like this though. What about this thing over here? I was freelancing in Facebook marketing for nightclubs, and then have different kind of businesses. And then I had a online course on how to market yourself as a DJ and a producer. I think that was my first serious business. Then I had a DJ school where you learned to DJ clubs and actual clubs during the day when it wasn't being used. Then I had little offshoots of that. Then I had a marketing agency, which is now my main thing. And I've got an online program with a friend, Jackson, who's the co-founder and the main operator for that, which is coaching program for electronic music producers. But I just always had this, I'll try it. And especially when you're a service-based business, I'm not an e-commerce guy, never have been. I don't need to invest in all this stock that I had to hold on to. Like, it's a service-based business. You can get started with enough money to buy the domain name. And then, actually, I don't know if you're going to ask me this question later, but I had this story where the very first online business me and Jackson had, I had just enough money to buy the domain name. After that, I had $3 left in my bank account. And then, all right, we need ClickFunnels. We're like, okay, well, there's a 14-day free trial. So we'll just get the trial, and then we just pre-sold the program and just got enough money for when the free trial ended. You can always start with pretty minimal investment up front. Just try it. If it doesn't work, I just wasted a fortnight of work or something like that.
No, that's amazing. It's amazing how we could start at one thing. And it's okay, let's just try this and see what happens. But it becomes something completely different, down the road. And it's funny that you say a lot of that, because when I first started wanting to be a business, I actually wanted to be a karaoke DJ and a music DJ myself. And I wanted to mix my own music. I wanted to do karaoke because I love to sing and I love to help other people have a good time. So I thought karaoke was awesome. But suddenly I'm podcasting. So that's like a whole different thing than the way I started. But you see a lot of businesses will start that way. And I really like the idea of you saying, let's just see what happens. I think I say that on my podcast more than anything else when I talk about where I came from, because that's what it was for me too. Let's just see what happens, because if we just do nothing, then nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. 100%.
So at least sticking your toe in the water just to see how it feels, just to see what happens, is definitely a way to get across a start line in an entrepreneurial adventure.
For sure.
And it's amazing to see that we can learn things from anywhere. Try the free trial, because sometimes when you do the free trial, you make money during the free trial, and then you could actually pay for the rest of it too, right?
Exactly. I didn't have a choice.
So that's kind of what I do too. Some of the things, I really want to use this, especially some of the AI stuff that's out right now that's you have to pay for. They have a free trial. It's like, okay, let me just do this one thing real quick, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
But then you could produce something out that will make you money, so you can actually get the full version of whatever it is. So that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. How long have you actually been in your business right now? I mean, the actual business you're in now.
We just had our 5-year anniversary in the June that just passed last month.
Oh, great. Congratulations. That's awesome. I love it. So
Yeah.
in your experience at this point, what do you think stops other entrepreneurs from getting across the start line? What do you think stops a lot of entrepreneurs from getting started?
I think it's a lot of perfectionism. I've lost count, but I've helped over 650 business owners in our With You program. And the most common thing that really holds them back from really anything, whether it's their marketing or even just filming an ad, is just perfectionism. And so some ways that would show up is someone going, oh, let's say, for example, you want to start an info product or something like that. And you go, oh, I want to start this program, whatever. They'll go, I'm going to make all the slides for all 10 weeks of the content. I'm going to film all of it, and then I'm going to tell people about it. And I was like, oh, man. Fortunately, from actually Sam Ovens' Consulting Accelerator program back in 2017, one of the modules was sell it before you build it. And they give the example, or should I say, he gives the example of, I think it's Steve Madden's shoes. And there's a video on YouTube where before they place an order for 250,000 pairs of shoes, they just make one pair, maybe 2 or 3. And then they go to a store and they just put it on the shelf and they just stand there and wait. And then only when someone buys it, they follow them out of the store and go, what'd you like about it? And get feedback. But only then will they then go to place an order for 200 or 250,000, whatever, pairs of this specific shoe to be made. Because until I have this saying, which I coined, is the market votes with its dollars and cents, and until someone gives you their money, you've got no votes. And so, especially as entrepreneurs, you're typically a little bit more optimistic about things, perhaps too optimistic. And everything just seems great ideas. Everything's all hunky-dory. You're very much in the honeymoon phase. It's very akin to pulling it back to that dating analogy that I had before. Everything's great. No one's going to be fine. No one's going to steal I don't need to change the locks on my door. Nothing like that, right? Everything's all hunky-dory. But you need a level of pessimism, and my little bit of pessimism is trying to sell it before you build it. Some ways that I've done that in the past, which will be helpful for someone trying to start their first business. Oh, here's a good story. So the DJ school that I had, there were 48 hours roughly between getting the idea, drawing it on a napkin in the Nando's down the road from the nightclub that ended up being one of our schools, and the very first paying customer. Because I posted a video about this on my YouTube, and I stored the screenshots with the message with the nightclub owner, and I said, hey, can we use the club as a DJ school during the day when it's not being used? I'll pay you a rental fee. And no, I said, can you give me the money for the ad spend, because I was broke. I was like, if you give me the money for the ad spend, give me a preloaded credit card that I can put on the Facebook ad account. I'll do all the marketing, all the sales, I'll get instructors, and we'll split the profits 50-50. And he went, yeah, okay, cool. I've still got the screenshots. So they're in that YouTube video. And then I went and made Facebook lead form ads. I manually downloaded the CSV files, put the contacts in my phone, started texting people, calling people, and then sold someone, I don't know, a day or two later or something like that. And we didn't have a syllabus. It's going to be a 10-week DJ course at this venue during the day when it's not being used. And then, but if they ask me what's in week 3 of the syllabus, I haven't made it yet. I know it's going to be a 10-week DJ course. All we were doing was we'd make, all right, well, it's going to be 10 weeks. We knew roughly what it'd be. We knew week 1 would be this, week 2 would be this, week 3 would be this. But then we only made the syllabuses. Syllabus? Is that the plural? Syllabi.
That's all right now.
New word that I've made. Syllabi. The syllabi were made and printed, and were written and printed like a day before the actual lessons were coming up. We'd be up the road at the university just printing them out in the library or something like that. And then it actually helped, because what would happen is we'd get to like week 4 or 5 and realize, oh wait, no, what we thought was going to be week 5 or week 6 actually has to be this instead, which is week 9. So we had to pull it forward, because as people start using the product, you get more and more feedback, and that feedback's actually what refines it. Because if the feedback is only coming from you and you're not even really experiencing it, you're making it, you're still a sample size of 1. And so you want to get as much feedback as you can, and it's just by putting people through the program and just refining it over time.
It's so important to just get that first smallest viable product. And instead of just like you said, and thinking, well, if I like it, everybody's going to like it. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. You have to get the input from the other people that are actually buying the product and see what they like about it, what they don't like about it. Maybe listen to them on a couple changes that you can make. And you make a great point too. People vote with their wallets, right? If somebody's going to like it, they're going to pay for it. And if they pay for it, then there's something about it that they really, really like about enough to where they will give you their hard-earned money in exchange for whatever it is, whether it be the course that you're talking about, whether it be the product that you just created. And they're going to be your best voice in how to take your next steps. And that's why perfectionism actually is one of the hurdles of stop that I talk about a lot in my podcasts. And that's a great example of how it could stifle us, how it could stop us from getting across the start line, because we're hiding behind perfectionism. We in our heads, it's okay, I'm waiting for this perfect time to happen, but it never really happens. Yeah. So we have to understand that it's actually a form of procrastination more than just trying to get it right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love the fact you just use what you got, right? Yeah. We'll just scribble out on a napkin, take a picture of it on the phone. If you have the ability to do it, even in the most mundane, crude way, do it anyway. You don't need all this special equipment or all the special cameras or whatever to just get started. The rest of that will come later.
Yeah, I remember when we were filming the ads for it originally, because the ads were a mock lesson, and so there'd be some music playing, like an instructor obviously teaching a student. We didn't have any students, so I was like, who's the glassier that's at the club during the day, like restocking and stuff like that? We'll just use him. So we were just having like staff members that were just like stocking the bar and stuff like that present.
It's like, hey, you got 5 minutes? Yeah, good. Come over here, sit down.
Yeah, we're good. Pretend like you're.
No, that's awesome. I actually, my very first speaking engagement, I made myself, and my only audience member was a stuffed dragon that my son bought me a long time ago. So
very good. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Great stories. So when it comes to perfectionism, since you kind of brought that up too, when you were first getting started, was that something that was holding you back too? I mean, were you experiencing the same thing, you think?
I personally don't think I did too much. However, if I look at a spectrum or I don't know, what we call it, a continuum of perfectionist to whatever the opposite plural or antonym of that is, I've certainly become less and less and less of a perfectionist as I've learned over time. It doesn't matter. None of this stuff is written in stone. You can change it later. I'll give you a perfect example. So there's another example. So the funnel for my With You program, which is a hybrid model agency that we have, we filmed all the ads and the video sales letter for it just in one morning. And I just took everything. I'm like, yep, that's an ad, that's an ad, that's an ad, that's an ad, whatever. And then the videographer sent me the rough cut for the VSL. So it's 19 minutes long. But there's parts of the video where I'm saying, hey, flashing up on the screen right now is Tiano's testimonial. But because it was a rough cut, that wasn't up on the screen. But I bet no one will get to the 17-second mark of this VSL anyway. I'm just going to run it. And so I ran traffic to it and I actually got a lead in the first $1 of spend. It was insane. And then I was like, did someone actually opt in? And so I messaged the videographer, hey, I know you said this would be done on Monday, but I'm running traffic to it right now and there's no captions. There's nothing popping up on the screen. And I wasn't too worried about it because viewer retention is pretty low anyway, so it's very unlikely they even got to the 30-second mark. But yeah, it worked straight off the bat. And then as soon as he sent me the final version, what he was doing was, because it was 19 minutes long, he just sent me the next couple minutes. And I'm like, all right, cool, just give me that. And then I just changed the URL out and just hope no one will get to the 3-minute mark. And it's all right, cool, we got the next 6 minutes or something. All right, so wait, this is hope no one watches past 9 minutes. And just kept swapping it out.
That's great. It's so awesome to be able to put something out there like that and understand it's actually working. It's working. We need to keep moving on.
Yeah.
Give me what you got. Did you get it? Yeah, that's awesome.
That's literally it.
So it doesn't sound like perfectionism was the thing that was kind of holding you back. What do you think if you were to say anything, would be the thing that was holding you back when you're first getting started?
When I was first getting started, what was holding me back? I think It was. I'm struggling to come up with an answer, and I hope that doesn't come off egotistical. Not too much was holding me back. I suppose, because even if I said a lack of financial resources held me back, which could be true, but it just gave me other ways to be creative. So there's always something that holds you back, but you can kind of pull it into your advantage. I think that was one of the things I was good at, was all the stuff that was holding me back. I kind of just reframed it in my head. I'm like, all right, well, we have to get creative anyway. I think the main thing that always kind of stung me in the long run was just financial cash management, because I'm a very like macro level thinker. I'm just very high D personality type, just run it, fix it. And then that means like early on in the business, I had a couple of times where you get a tax bill and you're like, oh, so that's how taxes work. It's like, I don't even have that money in the bank right now. Whereas like marketing, sales, and product, I was always really great at. Operations, finance, and people were always my weaknesses. So I learned the 6 kind of departments of breaking down a business from the Entourage, which was another coaching program I was in. And they split it into marketing, sales, product, and there'd be like drive growth. So whenever you want to make more money, those are your 3 departments that you focus on. And then operations, finance, and people, which will enable growth. And I was always a very drive growth entrepreneur. So making money and making really good products, I was great at. I'm so good at that. But operations, making an Asana board, like I didn't log into Asana for like 12 months straight. Asana, project management and operations, not my thing. Finance, I know how it works now. He's got stung a couple of times. But making a budget and a forecast and actually sticking to it and not going, oh no, let's just dump another $5,000 a day on ads. And people, recruiting, I've always been very, very slow at, or I would hire the wrong roles. That was always my weakness, was just, I'm very good at this over here, but I know that I'm not good at this stuff over here. So I have an avoidant relationship with it.
No, it's the same thing for me too, to be honest with you, because I'm all, I love talking to people and I'll do the sales part. I'm sales is my blood. And so what's going to stick over here? But there's other stuff over here.
It's just
not
boring.
So much. Yes.
Don't care.
But the nice thing to know is, where your zone of genius is when it comes to where you want to be. And when you have the things that you don't either like to do, or you're not that great at, or it's not in your zone of genius, you do have the ability now, especially nowadays, to be able to automate it or put it somewhere else, give it to somebody else to do that. It's in their zone of genius, so you don't have to worry about so much. That way you can work in your zone of genius and be in there constantly.
Yeah, for sure.
It's something I always thought about too, especially when it comes to using money as a quote unquote excuse not to start. I really think not having the money to do something is just an excuse not to do something. There's a lot of ways that we actually even touched on it earlier. There's a lot of free trials that you can give a try and see if it works for you. And it goes right back again. Just use what you got for now. And then just wait for, and then as you're actually doing something, the moment will present itself where you can actually do something different or add this to it or add that to it. It'll happen. But it's not going to happen unless you get across the start line. That's why I say that a lot. Unless you're actually making movement towards it, you're not going to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
So money is one of those things where it's like, oh, I don't have the money. Okay, well, then how do we do it without money? Let's just not stop and say, oh, I don't have money. I throw my hands up in the air and say I'm done.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
There's some other ways to think about it too. Like I remember, so I did a bodybuilding competition 3 years ago. And I had a posing coach, and I was talking to him about, he was still very early in his coaching career, I suppose. And I was trying to help him get more. So I was just talking to him about like growing his business, and I was like, just put your prices up. And he's like, I don't think people will like do that. I'm like, okay. So I ran him through this thought experiment. I was like, what's your dream car? And he said, I can't remember, some Aston Martin car, right? And I said, okay, cool. How much does that cost? He's like, £160,000 or whatever it was. I was like, all right, if I told you I could get you that car for £20,000, could you find the money? He's like, oh yeah, I'd like borrow money from friends. I'd get a credit card, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. So now there's just a discrepancy between how much it costs and how much you're like, how far you're willing to go to get this thing, right? And so value is always that difference between, what you want to pay and the value that you'll get. But when you really see the value, like you'll find a way to make it work.
Especially if it's that important to you to actually accomplish and do.
Mm.
I mean, if it's going to be a priority for you, you'll find a way to do it. I found a way. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not exactly making loads of money doing this, but I mean, putting a little bit of money aside to get the program that I need, my editing program or whatever it is. There's always a way to do it if you prioritize it. Just like you said with your friend, if we can make 1,000 pounds, we could. I mean, we could make 20.
Yeah. We'll talk to members apply for the With You program, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds great, but I don't have that much time, and this sounds hard." And so, okay, so what's Plan B for getting customers? They're like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." That's why we're kind of people was really, really surprised when we don't push too hard in our sales conversations because they're like, "Oh, it's not really a priority." We're like, "Okay, cool. Why'd you book the call then? Like, what do you want? Is this important to you or not? Because I shouldn't have to convince you that getting more leads for your business is important. You already know that it's important. Now there's just this little voice in your head that's trying to make you procrastinate. Yeah, it's hard. Because I looked into Facebook Ads Manager once and the interface was scary. Womp womp. It's just like, who cares? Imagine complaining about being able to make money on the internet with a Wi-Fi connection on your laptop and high-speed internet. Go work in a coal mine or something.
Right. You might as well at that point. So I have a question that I like asking, but I'm sure you've been on a few podcasts and you always hear about what was your hardest pitfall? What was the hardest problem that you faced and that kind of thing? I like to put a little bit of a spin on that. I like to say, what's the biggest pitfall that you had that you're proud of? In other words,
I got a good
go
one.
ahead. You sound like you already know what's going on.
I was $250,000 in debt to the ATO, which is the Australian Taxation Office. The payment plan was for 3.5 years or something like that. I got out of it in like 6 months.
Nice.
And I remember chatting to my parents because we were getting scary letters from the government. I remember talking to my bookkeeper and I was like, how much further? Because I was just basically using the ATO as a line of credit while I was trying to work out how to make the business work. Just shifting everything and pivoting everywhere. And I was like, how much further can we push this thing until we're talking about jail time? She's like, you got about $50,000 more, which is about a month or two away. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay.
Better get a move on there.
Exactly. But yeah, that was certainly my biggest one. I mentioned that pretty open. That's on my Instagram, it's on my YouTube and stuff like that. I mentioned that quite a lot because I think a lot of business owners, they would be in very similar situations where you're just in a lot of debt as you're trying to work things out. And then you kind of feel like you're in this little pit of despair. And so, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have to pay this thing off in like 3.5 years, and then just kept focusing on making the product better, making marketing and sales better. And then we went we had this one specific offer that after I looked at all the numbers, I was like, oh, just sell this. Just don't sell anything else. Just sell this one thing. And the business as a whole, between all the different revenue streams that we had, would do about $100,000 a month. This particular offer did $25,000 a month. Now, this one particular offer does about $500,000 a month. And we did that in the space of 6 months.
That's definitely one way to do it.
Yeah.
So what did we really learn in that experience? I mean, it sounds like you were able to pull it off, but what did we get from that?
Oh, so much. Just focus on just one thing. I find I was guilty of this as well. I had lots of different offers and lots of different tailoring and things like that. And I thought the solution was do a lot more. The solution was actually just do way less. It was, rather than all these different offers and all these different funnels, I was like, all right, here's 5 ads that go to one funnel. There's one sales script. There's one possible offer, and that's it.
It's amazing how when we concentrate a lot of our energies into just one specific solid thing that we know is already working,
yeah,
where it can make the biggest difference in just everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had to, one of the things is most entrepreneurs are pretty trigger happy with saying yes to opportunities. I am very much the same, but I've had to train myself to say no to a lot of things, which I'm much better at now. But sometimes I have to have awkward conversations where I initially expressed intent to do something with someone, not true agreement, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm keen. And then like 2 weeks later, I've sat and I'm like, that's a massive distraction. That's 100% going to pull you away from the main thing. And so I had to come back with my tail between my legs, like, hey, bro, because sometimes it'll be a friend too. Like, you know that thing we were keen on? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, that's just it. You have to realize that when you are saying yes to a lot of things, you're also saying no to a lot of things too.
Yeah, 100%.
But on the other hand, too, when you say no to something, what are you actually saying yes to? So it goes both ways. But which one of those ways is going to benefit you the most is what you really have to concentrate on and understand how it actually works for you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So in your vast accomplishments and DJing and everything else that you've been doing, what do you think is your biggest accomplishment?
So many. I'm certainly proud of what we've created with you, which is the 2-day workshop and the 6 months of support afterwards, because we've had business owners come through like the most insane results. Like just the other morning, I got a voice memo on Instagram from one member saying thank you, because I saw all the results he was getting, but he's like, I don't think you really knew how we were when we came to you. He's like, I was like, the business was on life support and I was running the business off of my personal savings. Another online fitness coach that was doing $10,000 a month when he came to me, and that was just 4 or 5 months ago. Now he's hit his first $75,000 a month. I won't say her name because it's private to her, but I had a mother in one of the workshops. Wasn't even at the workshop. I had my own thing going on. She came up to me and my girlfriend at a cafe because she recognized me and said she got to keep her house because of the program, and she had like 2 or 3 of her kids with her. Yeah, just the number of business owners that we've actually helped through the program that have been burnt by agencies in the past. And then we were like, we'll just do this 2-day thing, and then they just beat all of them. Yeah, I'm super proud of that.
That's fantastic. I love hearing stories like that where you've put something together for everybody else and it's changed their lives or saved their lives. It sounds even, or something really super positive happened, and they're able to come up to you or message you or something, say thank you for what you've done. That's what I live for, dude. That's the whole reason why I do this, is to help other people. And I don't expect a whole heck of a lot in return, but having that thank you is just, it's the most amazing feeling.
Yeah, for sure. I get an industry set as well, where there's industry sets for electronic music producers that want to make better music faster, get signed to labels and stuff like that. We have testimonials where students are crying in them because they're like, I've made more progress in 10 weeks than I have in the last 5 years of my whole career.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome. Thank you for that. That's fantastic. So I think we touched on this once before, but I'm going to hit it again just because I liked it so much. But the advice, what advice would you give a brand new entrepreneur that's just getting started?
What would be the best piece of advice I could give? I think the best piece of advice I could give would be, so if you had an x-axis and a y-axis, right? And the x-axis is around and the y-axis is find out. Most people don't around a whole lot, and so as a consequence, they don't find out very much either. Your goal as an entrepreneur should be to around as much as you possibly can so you can find out more. And so a lot of that really comes down to is testing and iterating and getting feedback as fast as you can. For example, you could talk to yourself all day long about a particular ad or a particular landing page or a particular offer, but until you talk to lots of people about it, your sample size of feedback of yourself is still just a sample size of one, and it's a biased opinion as well. And so your goal should be to get as much feedback as you possibly can, as fast as you can. And failures are inevitable, so your goal should be to fail faster so you can get more valuable feedback, but make sure that the failures aren't something that will kill you.
Yeah, it's a strategic decision. We got to be very strategic about it, but we still have to put stuff out there to see what will happen.
Yeah, 100%. You want to test in a way so that you still can backpedal. So I'll launch offers and be like, that didn't work, never mind. And they go, all right, what about this way? It's, oh, that was a little bit closer, but no, go back, undo it. And then you do another one, do another one, do another one, and then finally you do one and it hits. Like, all right, bunch of that over and over again. It's a little bit like gambling when you think about it. So is it roulette? I don't gamble. I gamble on my ad account, not in real casinos. But if you have a roulette, you put all your chips on lots of different numbers. It's a bit like that. And then when you got a good feeling about one, you're like, all right, all in on that one.
Yeah, I think our odds are a little bit better what we're doing than actual gambling, but we get the point. You know exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, that's awesome, Brad. I love that. Thank you for that little bit of advice. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
So I have a tradition I do with all my guests. In the next 6 months, where do you see you and your company? Do you have any goals for yourself in the next 6 months?
Yeah, we're going to have an office on the east coast of Australia so we can do workshops over there more frequently, because that's the main demand. Is if I want to help more business owners divorce their advertising agencies, get better results, we had to be able to just simply run more workshops. So that just means more staff, a team over on the east coast. So my team in Perth doesn't have to fly across the country for every single month or something like that. So yeah, that's where we're going.
Okay, awesome. So what I'd like to do here with you, Brandon, is in the 6 months, I'd like to have another interview with you just like this one, and to see if we are able to accomplish that and see where life has taken you over the last 6 months. Is that okay with you?
Sounds great. I'd love to.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, Brandon, this is your time to shine. This is the time where I want you to advertise yourself. How do we get a hold of you and all that good stuff? Okay, ready, set, go.
So in a short elevator pitch, I help service-based business owners divorce their advertising agencies. More often than not, actually, pretty much all the time, they get better results than their agencies because no one understands the customer better than the business owner. No one speaks to the customer more than the business owner. And then more importantly, no one's more financially incentivized than the business owner for the marketing to do well than the business owner. No one looks at the bank account every morning. No one's answering the phones every single day. No one's answering all the sales appointments. So the business owner, for service-based businesses in particular, is the most qualified and financially incentivized person to do the marketing. All they need to know is what button do I press to get in front of the right person. That's it. So we do that in 2 days, not a 2-month onboarding process.
Fantastic. All right, Brandon. Thank you so much for being on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur Get Across the Start Line. This has been an absolute treat. I love talking to you. You got some great stories, and I got some great laughs in, which is always great.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, Scoop Believers, make sure you stay tuned for the wrap-up. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, Scoop Believers, that was Brandon. What a fantastic conversation. I love talking to him, especially as being a DJ, and I wanted to be a DJ. Kind of wanted to be a DJ myself in the near future. But I'm so glad to be able to talk to Brandon, get his insights on the things that we talked about. But I do have 2 major takeaways I'd like to talk to you about. Embrace imperfection to ignite action. Brandon's journey shows that perfectionism is a trap that stalls progress. By launching a DJ school with just a napkin sketch and a free trial, he turned his idea into reality, proving that starting small and iterating fast is the key to entrepreneur success, overcoming fear and taking bold, imperfect steps to get across the start line. Focusing on one core strength. By narrowing his focus to a single high-impact offer, Brandon transformed his business from $100,000 to $500,000 in just 6 months, demonstrating that concentrating energy on what works best can lead to exponential growth. Say no to distractions and double down on your strongest idea to achieve breakthroughs. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much, Scoop Believers, for another episode. And I will talk to you next week. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And there you have it, future entrepreneurs. We've taken another step towards our journey to get across that start line. Remember, every great business starts with a single idea and the courage to pursue it. You've already shown that courage by joining us here today. As we wrap up this episode of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, I want to remind you that the start line isn't as far away as you might think. With each bit of knowledge you gain, each fear you face, you're getting closer to launching your dream. Until our next episode together, keep pushing, keep dreaming, and most importantly, keep taking those steps across the start line. They'll all add up to big strides in your entrepreneur adventure. This is Scoob, your guide across the start line. Remember, your future is waiting. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. Do you find yourself faltering when speaking in public? You definitely know what you're talking about, but you just can't seem to get over the horrific fear, and imagining people in their underwear is just not working. Whether you're gearing up for a big presentation or just looking to improve your daily communications, Leslie Fiorenzo is your go-to resource for mastering self-promotion, facing your audience fearlessly, and communicating with authority. Don't miss out on your opportunity to elevate your game. Contact Leslie Fiorenzo now, or go to tuepodcast.net/speak to step into the spotlight with confidence. Your adventure in public speaking mastery starts here and now. Don't wait to get your voice heard. Book your free consultation at tuepodcast.net/speak to start your adventure in speaking excellence today.